The deep black of space was silent. Stars burned far away like tiny fires, but this area was empty, forgotten, and cold. In this lonely place, a giant warship of the Empire drifted. It was the pride of the Imperial fleet, its steel skin shining like a blade. Inside, thousands of soldiers moved like a single machine. They thought nothing could surprise them. They were wrong. Alarms began to ring across the ship. The sound was sharp and urgent. Crew members looked at each other with wide eyes. This was not a drill. The sensors had caught something impossible. The officer at the main screen shouted for silence. Numbers flashed on the display. An unknown vessel had appeared, but the computers showed no jump signature, no engine trail, nothing at all. It had simply appeared out of empty space. The commander of the ship, an old and proud alien named Varkle, stepped closer to the screen. His skin was pale blue, his eyes black and cold. He had seen war for 100 years. Nothing scared him anymore. But now his hands were tight on the railing. "How can a vessel appear without warning?" he asked. His voice was quiet, but every officer heard the edge in it. The strange vessel hung before them, small compared to the Imperial warship, but built in a way no one on the bridge had seen. It was not made of the shining alloys of the Empire or the jagged stone of the outer clans. It was simple, clean, and old, almost like a relic. Its shape was smooth, like a long arrowhead. Its surface carried markings in a language the Empire had long erased from history. The crew whispered among themselves. No records showed a design like this. No records showed any ship able to appear out of nowhere. Fear spread through the bridge like cold air. "Scan it," Varkle ordered. The sensors tried to look inside, but the ship was like a shadow. No heat, no energy, no life. Yet it was there. "This cannot be real," one of the officers said, her voice trembling. "This is not possible." Then a signal came. It was soft, like a whisper. Not a weapon lock. Not a threat. A single message. The computer translated the words slowly, line by line. The alien letters twisted on the screen and changed into the language of the Empire. Everyone on the bridge leaned forward. "Please. We need help." Only one sentence. No origin, no name, no demand. Just a plea for help. For a long time no one moved. The Empire did not receive pleas for help. The Empire conquered, burned, and ruled. No one asked the Empire for rescue. And no one at all, should have a ship like this. "Where is the signal coming from?" Varkle asked. "The ship," said the officer. "It's human." The word fell like a stone in a silent room. Human. The race erased from history. The race that had vanished in a war so long ago that even the oldest records were dust. The Empire had declared them gone forever. And yet here was a human vessel, speaking in a human voice, asking for help. Some crew members stepped back. Some made signs of protection. Old stories said the humans were dangerous, cunning, and unbroken even when the Empire crushed their worlds. Old stories said if humans returned, the stars would shake. "Open a channel," Varkle commanded. His heart, though old, beat faster. He had fought humans once, long ago. He had seen them fight to the last breath. He had never forgotten their eyes. The screen flickered. Static hissed. Then an image appeared. It was dark, blurred, but a face showed through. A human face. Pale, tired, eyes full of fear. The voice was weak but steady. "We are lost," the human said. "Our vessel is dying. We have no weapons. We only ask for help." The bridge was silent. No one knew what to say. No one had seen a living human in centuries. No one had heard their voice. And yet here it was, soft and real. "Commander," the officer whispered, "should we capture them?" Another said, "We should destroy it. It could be a trap." Others whispered of curses, of legends, of the day the humans would rise again. Varkle raised his hand for silence. He stared at the human on the screen. He could feel the weight of history pressing on his shoulders. If he helped, he would break imperial law. If he attacked, he might wake something far worse. He leaned close to the microphone. His voice was a low growl. "Identify yourself," he said. "Where are you from?" The human shook their head. "There is no time. Please." The image flickered. Behind the human, the walls of the vessel glowed red. Sparks flew. Something was tearing the ship apart. "Please," the voice said again. "Help us." Then the signal cut. The strange vessel drifted in silence, its lights dying one by one. The commander of the Imperial warship stood still. Around him, the crew waited for his order. Outside, the impossible ship floated, like a ghost from a forgotten war, carrying a plea no one expected to hear. Somewhere deep inside the commander, an old memory stirred, of a battlefield long ago, of human soldiers standing together against impossible odds. He remembered how they had fought, not for empire, but for each other. His next words would decide everything. The bridge of the Imperial warship stayed silent. Only the low hum of engines filled the air. All eyes watched their commander. Outside the window, the strange vessel turned slowly, its hull cracked like old bone. No new signals came. Only cold space between them. Varkle's claws tapped the rail. He was a commander of the Empire. His orders were clear: unknown ships must be captured or destroyed. Yet inside his chest something heavy moved, a memory of human eyes looking straight at him on a battlefield long ago. They had not begged then. They had fought like fire. He looked at his crew. Some were afraid, some eager for battle. "Prepare a boarding party," he said at last. His voice was hard but low. "We will go in. We will see who they are." Gasps rippled across the bridge. "Commander," an officer said, "this is against protocol." Another added, "It could be a trap. Humans are clever." "I know what humans are," Varkle said. "And I know fear when I see it." That face was fear, not a weapon. Orders moved fast. A squad of elite troopers suited up in black armor. Their weapons hummed with blue light. They were told to capture, not kill. Varkle himself walked among them. He was too old for boarding missions, but he would not send others where he would not go. The boarding craft detached from the warship like a small dart. It drifted toward the dying vessel. Its engines were low and quiet, so as not to spook whatever was inside. Through the window Varkle saw the human ship up close for the first time. Its skin was scratched and scorched, its markings faded but still clear. He could read a few letters, words in a language forbidden in the Empire. The docking claws reached out. Metal scraped on metal. The two ships locked together with a thud. Inside the boarding craft, the troopers checked their weapons. Varkle's heart beat slow and heavy. He remembered other doors, other ships, other fights. "Open the hatch," he said. Air hissed. A round door slid open with a grinding noise. The smell of burnt plastic and old air rolled in. They stepped inside. The corridor of the human ship was narrow and dark. Red lights blinked like wounded eyes. Smoke drifted from broken panels. There was no sound of movement, only the distant creak of metal. The troopers moved in two lines, weapons ready. Their boots echoed on the floor. "Life signs?" Varkle asked. "Faint," the tech officer answered. "One, maybe two, deeper inside." They passed walls covered in strange symbols. Some looked like maps. Some like lists of names. Varkle did not read them aloud. He felt like he was walking through a grave. A noise came from ahead. A cough, weak but human. The troopers froze. Varkle raised a hand. "Show yourself," he called. His voice bounced down the corridor. A figure stepped out from the shadows. It was small, thin, wrapped in a torn suit. A human child. No, not a child, but young, eyes wide and terrified. In their hands they held a piece of metal, shaking, not a weapon but a broken tool. "Stay back," the human said in a hoarse voice. We don't want trouble." The troopers aimed their weapons. Blue dots danced on the human's chest. Varkle stepped forward, pushing the barrels down. "Enough," he said. He crouched low, his large frame filling the corridor. "We are not here to harm you." The human stared at him, lips trembling. "Your empire," they whispered. "We called for help, but your empire." "Yes," Varkle said. "And yet we came." The human's knees buckled. They dropped the metal tool. Behind them, sparks fell from the ceiling. The ship groaned. "Our core is failing," they said. Others, deeper inside, their eyes rolled back. They collapsed. Varkle caught them with surprising gentleness. The troopers exchanged nervous looks. No one had ever seen their commander hold an enemy like that. "There are more," Varkle said. "Find them. Now." They pushed deeper into the ship. Rooms opened on both sides, full of strange machines, all dead. They found another human, older, unconscious but breathing. Two more lay farther down, one badly injured. Each time, Varkle ordered them carried back to the boarding craft. The ship trembled. A deep cracking noise came from its spine. "Core breach," the tech officer said. "This vessel will break apart." "Then move faster," Varkle growled. At last they reached a sealed door at the end of the corridor. Strange symbols glowed faintly on it. "No life signs inside," the officer said. "But there is something else. Energy, unknown type." Varkle stared at the door. His instincts told him the answer to the mystery lay here. "Open it," he said. The troopers placed charges. A soft boom. The door fell inward. Inside was a small chamber. In the center stood a capsule of black glass, humming with power. Lights ran over its surface in patterns that hurt the eyes. It was not human, not imperial. It was something older, something hidden. "What is that?" a trooper whispered. Varkle stepped closer. His skin felt cold. The capsule pulsed, like a heartbeat. As he neared, the lights shifted, forming shapes, letters. Imperial letters. They spelled out a warning. "Do not open." The ship groaned louder. Panels burst into sparks. The tech officer shouted, "We must leave now." Varkle did not move. His eyes stayed on the capsule. "This is why they called for help," he murmured. "This is not just a dying ship. This is a secret." Behind him the humans moaned weakly, half-conscious. The capsule pulsed again, faster now, as if it felt their presence. "Commander!" the officer yelled. "Core at critical." Varkle turned at last. His voice was hard. "Evacuate. Take the humans. Bring the capsule." The troopers hesitated. "But the warning." "That is an order," Varkle roared. They moved, pulling the capsule onto a grav sled. Sparks showered them. The corridor shook. They ran back to the docking point. Behind them the ship's hull began to tear. Lights flickered. Alarms screamed. The boarding craft shot away just as the human vessel broke apart. A silent flash bloomed in space where it had been. Fragments spun away into darkness. Inside the craft the rescued humans lay pale and silent. The black capsule sat between them, humming softly like a living thing. Varkle looked at it, then at the stars outside. He knew the Empire would not forgive this. He knew what the legends said about humans and lost secrets. And still he had brought it aboard. Far behind them, something stirred in the debris, a faint signal, a whisper not meant for Imperial ears. The boarding craft glided back toward the massive Imperial warship. Its small engines were almost silent, but inside the cabin hearts beat loud. Troopers sat rigid, their weapons across their knees. The rescued humans lay strapped to stretchers, pale and still. In the middle of the cabin the black capsule hummed, its lights running like tiny rivers. No one wanted to look at it for long. Varkol sat opposite it. His claws tapped the metal bench. The glow of the capsule reflected in his dark eyes. It pulsed slowly, like it was alive. He remembered the warning letters. He remembered the way the human vessel had torn itself apart, as if trying to hide this thing. The tech officer's voice cracked over the intercom. "Commander, the main ship has detected us. They're preparing a full security team. They want to know what we're bringing aboard." "Tell them nothing," Varkol said. "Medical for the humans. Quarantine for the capsule. No other details." "But sir—" "Do it," he said, and the channel clicked off. The boarding craft slid into the warship's hangar. Massive doors closed behind them, sealing out the stars. Bright lights flooded the deck. Imperial soldiers in gray armor stood in rows, weapons at the ready. Medics rushed forward but slowed when they saw the capsule. A murmur rolled through the hangar like a wave. "Take the humans to isolation," Varkol ordered. "No harm to them. They are under my protection." The medics hesitated. "Understood, Commander." They lifted the stretchers and moved quickly, eyes averted from the black object. Two security captains approached. One of them, a tall alien with scarred jaws, saluted. "Sir, by law all unknown artifacts are to be turned over to the Imperial Science Bureau immediately." Varkol's gaze was cold. "This one stays under my command until I say otherwise." "That violates." Varkol stepped close. "You will obey. Or you will explain to the Bureau why this ship and its crew vanished when they touched something they did not understand." The captain swallowed his words and stepped back. "As you wish, Commander." The capsule was placed in a sealed chamber deep within the warship. Thick glass walls, heavy doors, energy dampers. But even there it glowed softly. Engineers installed scanners, but the readings came back empty. It gave off no known energy, no mass signature beyond its shell, no sign of a power source. Yet it pulsed on its own. Varkol went to the medical bay. The rescued humans lay on beds, hooked to monitors. Two were waking. The young one he had seen first blinked up at him. Their voice was weak but urgent. You saved us." "Yes," Varkol said. "Tell me about the capsule." Fear flashed in their eyes. "We didn't want it. We found it. It was drifting near a dead star. Our scanners couldn't see inside. We thought it was old tech. But when we brought it aboard..." Their voice broke. "Everything started to fail. Systems died. Engines misfired. We tried to jettison it, but it wouldn't leave. It locked itself to us. We sent the plea. No one came. Until you." "What is inside?" Varkol asked. "We don't know," the human whispered. "Only, it spoke once." Varkol leaned closer. "What did it say?" The human's lips trembled. "It said, 'We remember.'" They closed their eyes again. Varkol stood silent. In his mind old tales rose. Stories of human weapons, of machines that learned and waited, of promises they made before the Empire burned their worlds. An alarm chimed on his wrist. Security breach in the containment chamber. He turned and strode out, his cloak sweeping behind him. The corridor outside the chamber was full of soldiers. The heavy doors glowed faint red. "What happened?" Varkol demanded. "Nothing entered or left," the guard said. "But it's moving." They opened a small viewport. Inside, the capsule floated off the platform, not touching the ground. Its black surface was splitting along thin lines of light. The pulse was faster now, like a drumbeat. On the glass walls, letters formed in Imperial script. The same message again and again. "We remember." A low hum filled the air, rising until it became a voice. Not loud, but everywhere at once, inside their heads. A voice that was not human, not alien, but something older. "Release us," it whispered. Several soldiers stepped back, clutching their helmets. "Commander, what is this?" one gasped. Varkel's jaw tightened. "It's awake." The capsule spun slowly. The black shell cracked wider. Light poured out, pale and cold, filling the chamber like mist. Images flickered in the air. Battlefields, burning worlds, fleets torn apart. The soldiers saw themselves in the visions, small and helpless. The humans on the beds far away began to stir and cry out as if in a dream. Then the lights died. The capsule settled back on the platform, whole again, silent. The writing on the glass walls faded. Only the hum remained. Varkel turned to his officers. "No one speaks of this. No transmissions. No records. If the Bureau learns, they will take it and all of us with it." "But Commander," an officer said quietly, "what if it wakes again?" Varkel stared at the black shell. "It will. And when it does, we must be ready." Deep inside the warship, sealed behind glass and steel, the capsule pulsed once more. This time the pulse spread through the deck, through the ship systems, subtle but real. Lights flickered in far corridors. Engines shifted pitch. In the medical bay, the humans opened their eyes all at once. The youngest sat up, sweat on their forehead. "It's calling," they whispered. "It's calling to something out there." Far beyond the warship, in the dark between stars, other signals stirred, faint echoes answering the pulse. They were coming closer. Varkel did not know yet what he had brought aboard. But the stars outside seemed to tremble, as if holding their breath. The Imperial warship cut through empty space like a silent blade. But inside it no one felt calm. The black capsule lay locked behind layers of steel and energy, yet its soft pulse touched every deck. Lights flickered for a heartbeat, then steadied. Engines hummed with a strange echo. It was as if the ship had taken a breath it did not need. Varkel stood in the command room, staring at a cluster of star maps. Tiny red dots blinked at the edge, new signals, unknown, growing stronger. They had appeared after the capsule came aboard. "They're answering it," he thought. "Something is coming." An officer approached, eyes wary. "Commander, systems are stable but different. Power output is slightly higher. Our sensors are reaching farther than before. We can hear whispers across half the sector." "Not whispers," Varkel said. "Responses." The officer shivered. "What is in that thing?" Varkel did not answer. He turned to the screen showing the medical bay. The humans were awake now, sitting on their beds, faces pale and tense. Their eyes sometimes lost focus, as if listening to voices no one else could hear. He went to them. Guards opened the door. The youngest human looked up. "It's not stopping," they said quietly. "We can feel it. It's searching." "What is it searching for?" Varkel asked. "Us," another human said. "Or what we were. We don't know. But it remembers us. It's angry. It's lonely." They shivered. "We thought it was a weapon. Maybe it's a memory." Varkel crouched beside them. "If it's calling, then something is coming. Can you make it stop?" They shook their heads. "We can't control it. We only woke it." A deep tremor rolled through the ship. Alarms blinked but no sound came. Everyone looked around, expecting an attack, but the stars outside were still. Only the pulse of the capsule grew faster, like a heartbeat before a leap. In the sealed chamber, the black shell cracked again, lines of pale light running across it. Symbols appeared on the floor in a language older than any in the Empire. The security team raised their weapons but dared not fire. One whispered, "It's opening." The capsule's surface shifted. Not a door, not a hatch, but a slow unfolding like a flower. Inside was no weapon, no engine. A sphere of clear light floated, images moving across it, human faces, cities, oceans, stars. Memories of a vanished world. They flickered like ghosts. A voice filled the chamber, soft but strong. "We remember. We wait. We rise." Varkel arrived as the guards backed away. He stared at the sphere. It showed a battle he himself had fought long ago, humans standing in ruined streets, holding simple weapons, looking up as imperial ships darkened the sky. The image froze on a single human's eyes. Then the sphere turned and showed him his own face as it was then, young and fierce. "Commander," an officer whispered. "It knows you." The voice spoke again. "You killed us. You buried us. But you cannot erase what we are." Varkel's claws dug into his palms. "I did what the Empire commanded," he said low. "The war was not mine." The sphere flickered, showing the present humans on the beds, their faces superimposed with older ones, ancestors, soldiers, children. "They are seeds," the voice said. "We hid ourselves. We waited for the stars to forget. We waited for one hand to reach back." Another tremor shook the ship. Outside the star map, the unknown signals had multiplied. Hundreds now. Thousands. Shapes moving through space, faint but fast. The crew stared at the screens. "Ships," someone said. Or, "not ships." Varkel turned to the sphere. "Call them back," he demanded. "Stop them." "They are already awake," the voice said. "They come to reclaim what was lost." The humans in the medical bay cried out as if struck by the same thought. "It's too soon," the youngest whispered. "We're not ready." Alarms blared for real now. The warship sensors filled with contacts, bright, fast, surrounding. Some looked like ships. Some looked like shapes of light. All heading straight for them. "Shields up." Varkel barked. "All hands to battle stations." The crew scrambled. Energy fields rose around the ship. Weapons powered on. But deep inside Varkel knew his warship might be nothing against what was coming. He turned back to the sphere. "If you wanted help, you have it. But if you bring war to my ship, I will destroy you." The sphere dimmed. The voice whispered, almost gentle. "We do not want war. We want to be whole." The capsule closed again, sealing the sphere inside. Its pulse slowed. The tremors faded. Outside, the approaching lights stopped, hanging in space like a ring of stars. The warship floated in the center. On the bridge, the crew stared at the screen. "They're waiting," an officer said. "For what?" another asked. No one answered. Varkel stood tall, his cloak heavy on his shoulders. The humans huddled in the medical bay, eyes wide, feeling the same presence. Far away in the ring of lights, something shifted, a great shape forming from the glow, larger than any ship. Its outline was like a human figure reaching out a hand. Varkel's throat tightened. The legends had said, when humanity wakes, the stars will shake. Now the stars trembled around him. The ring of lights around the Imperial warship hung perfectly still. It was not like a fleet. It was like an eye, watching. Every sensor on the bridge showed impossible readings. Some contacts were metal, some were energy, some were simply empty space that now had weight. None matched any known design. Varkel stood at the front of the bridge, claws resting on the railing. He felt the pulse of the capsule even here, faint but steady, like a heartbeat under the floor. Behind him the crew whispered, afraid to raise their voices. On the main screen the shape inside the ring grew clearer. It was not a ship. It was a figure of light, tall and thin, like a human silhouette built from stars. It lifted one glowing hand. At once the warship's engines powered down by themselves. Screens flickered. Weapons went cold. The ship was frozen in space. "We've lost control," an officer gasped. "Every system is locked." "Shields?" Varkel asked. "Still up," she said. "But they don't matter. They're not even touching us." Varkel's eyes narrowed. "They're showing they could destroy us without firing a shot." In the medical bay the rescued humans sat up as one. Their eyes glowed faintly, reflecting the same pale light. The youngest whispered, "It's speaking." "Translate," Varkel ordered over the comm. "It doesn't use words," the human said. "It uses memory." pictures, feelings. It wants us to open the capsule. Varkel's voice was a growl. If I open that thing, will it kill us? The humans shook their heads slowly. No. It will decide. On the bridge the light figure moved its hand again. This time the image changed. Scenes of humans on lost worlds, cities burning under imperial ships, small children carried away. Then scenes of them hiding, building, waiting. It showed seeds launched into space. Seeds of people, seeds of minds, scattered like dust into the galaxy. It showed the black capsule as one of many. They hid their history, an officer whispered. They hid themselves. Varkel stared at the screen. And now they're waking. The figure of light leaned closer to the warship. A sound filled the bridge, not a voice but a deep tone like a bell struck in a cavern. It vibrated through metal and bone. The rescued humans began to speak at the same time, their voices overlapping. We remember. We forgive. We rise. The tone stopped. The figure withdrew a little, as if waiting. Varkel turned to his officers. We have two choices, he said softly. We open the capsule. Or we fight everything out there until we are dust. No one spoke. The Empire had trained them to conquer, not to ask. Varkel opened a channel to the medical bay. Bring the humans to the containment chamber. All of them. Now. Minutes later the chamber doors sealed behind them. The capsule sat in the center, its black surface alive with pale lines. The humans stood around it, trembling but drawn to it like iron to a magnet. What do we do? The youngest asked. You called for help, Varkel said. Now give it what it wants. The humans placed their hands on the capsule. At once the lights on its surface flared, bright as a sun. The walls of the chamber shook. The warship itself shuddered. On the bridge the crew cried out as the ring of lights closed in. They were not attacking. They were merging. Threads of light streamed from them toward the warship, wrapping it in a glowing web. The hull groaned but held. Inside the chamber the capsule opened fully. The sphere of light rose into the air. It spun, sending out streams of images and symbols. The humans lifted from the floor, floating around it, their eyes filled with starlight. A voice filled every mind aboard, clear and strong now. We were broken. We hid. You tried to erase us. But one of you reached back. We are not only memory. We are the impossible. Varkel gritted his teeth. What are you going to do? He asked aloud. The voice replied, softer. Begin again. The humans lowered slowly to the floor. Their eyes returned to normal. The sphere of light folded in on itself, becoming a single bright point, then sliding into each of their chests. The capsule cracked and fell empty to the floor. On the screens the ring of lights faded. The giant figure dissolved into 1,000 sparks and vanished. Systems on the warship came back online one by one. Engines hummed. Weapons powered up. Everything was normal again, except the rescued humans now stood taller, their faces calm and strange. The youngest looked at Varkel. It's over, they said. For now, Varkel muttered. But what have I brought aboard my ship? The human smiled, not cruelly but like someone who knows a secret. Not a weapon. A promise. Outside the warship the stars were quiet again. But far, far away, in the dark between galaxies, other seeds stirred, answering a call older than empires. Varkel looked at his crew. Plot a course to Imperial space, he ordered. We're going home. He did not say out loud what he felt, that home might never be the same. The Imperial warship cut back toward the heart of the Empire. Stars slipped past in long white streams, but inside the ship no one relaxed. The rescued humans walked the corridors now, quiet and watchful. Their eyes seemed normal, yet every crew member who passed them felt a strange chill, as if the humans carried a piece of the capsule's light inside them. Varkel stood alone in his quarters, staring at a map of the Empire. Millions of worlds, endless fleets, unbroken law. He had served it for 100 years. Yet now, after what he had seen, the map looked fragile, like a web of glass. A knock at his door. The youngest human stepped inside. "We can feel your worry," they said softly. "You're in my ship," Varkle replied. "I have the right to worry." "We didn't choose this," the human said. "But the thing inside us is awake now. It's looking. It remembers every world, every name. When we sleep, we see them." "What is it planning?" Varkle asked. The human shook their head. "It's not a weapon. It's a signal. It will not attack. But when others hear it, things will change." Varkle's claws dug into the desk. "The Empire will see you as a threat." The human's eyes glinted. The Empire was built on forgetting. We are what it tried to forget. An alarm chimed. Varkle opened a channel. "Report." On the bridge, an officer's face was pale. "Commander, we have entered the Calran sector. All communications are dead. Scanners show nothing. Whole colonies gone dark." Varkle strode to the bridge. The main screen showed a planet ahead, gray, silent, no signals. It had been a thriving world only weeks before. Now its cities were empty shells. No fire, no bodies. Just absence. "What happened here?" an officer whispered. The humans walked onto the bridge behind Varkle. They looked at the screen and closed their eyes. "They heard the call," the youngest said. "But they weren't ready." Varkle turned sharply. "Explain." "Long ago," the human said slowly, "we planted memories, seeds, across many worlds. Some in machines. Some in people. They were meant to wake when it was safe. But something woke them early. Some are lost." The screen flickered. Static swept over it. Then a faint image appeared, a dark ship drifting above the planet, its hull covered in twisting lights. It was not human, not imperial. It was like a shadow of the capsule, huge and silent. "Identify," Varkle barked. "No match," the sensor officer said. "It's impossible." The dark ship turned toward them. Its shape changed as it moved, like smoke taking forms. Varkle felt the deck vibrate under his feet. "Shields up," he ordered. "Weapons ready." "Wait," the youngest human said. "It's one of ours. Or what's left of one." On the screen the dark ship stopped. A single point of light blinked on its surface. Then a voice came through the speakers, broken, like an echo through water. "Help. Help us. We remember." The humans shuddered. "It's a lost seed," the oldest murmured. "It woke alone. It's dying." Varkle clenched his jaw. "Is it dangerous?" "If we leave it, yes," the youngest said. "It will break apart. It will scream. Others will come. You saw what happened to this planet." The dark ship began to drift closer, slow but inevitable. "It's linking to us," an officer said. "It wants the capsule." "We don't have the capsule anymore," Varkle said. The humans looked at each other. "We are the capsule now." The deck trembled harder. Lights flickered. The dark ship's point of light became a beam reaching toward them. It was not an attack. It was a hand. "Commander," an officer shouted, "if we let it connect, it will merge with our systems." "If we block it," another said, "it will release its energy and destroy everything nearby." Varkle stared at the humans. "If I let it touch us, will we survive?" "We don't know," the youngest whispered. "But if we don't, this world will die with it." On the screen the beam of light grew brighter. Warnings flashed. "Decision now," the officer cried. Varkle's claws dug deep into the rail. He had disobeyed the Empire once already. He had carried humans aboard his ship. Now he faced something worse than death, a choice that could change the galaxy. "Lower the shields," he said. The beam struck the warship. A flood of pale light poured through every deck. For an instant everyone saw not the ship around them but an ocean of stars, a billion faces rising from the dark. Then the light vanished. Systems came back online. The dark ship outside had dissolved into dust, its point of light gone. On the bridge the humans fell to their knees, gasping. "It's inside," they whispered. "We took it in. We saved it." Varkle gripped the rail. Saved it, or let it spread. The youngest looked up, eyes glowing faintly again. Both. Outside the dead planet turned slowly below them. But deep in the dark beyond the sector, something else moved, larger than fleets, older than empires, answering the same call.